Corporate America and the N-Word, Chapter 1, Tortuga Anderson versus GDC Trucking, 2002. White truck drivers assembled around the bathroom while Anderson was inside. I would like to fuck her in the ass. I see that red ring around her lipstick on my dick. I bet she can suck a mean dick. I want to suck her pussy. I want to go in there and bathe in her hot piss. Even over radio airwaves, they shamelessly transmitted comments like, "What a nice ass she has. How she would be a good fuck, and I want to eat her." White General Manager Donald Cooper subjected Anderson to an almost daily repertoire of comment. He surmised how good her long fingernails would feel on his balls and besieged her with statements like, "Why do you have to be so mean? You need a good fuck. Stop being a mean ass and just give in," suggesting that things would be easier for her if she, quote, acted right, offering his lap as a place for her to sit. "I heard black women have the best pussy and that you've never been fucked until you've been with a black woman." James Briggs versus Diamond Auto Glass, 2001. James Briggs was a target. "Nigga, you're my black bitch. Monkey, dumb monkey, my bitch." It went on daily with no let-up in sight. Ernest Stickle even began using props to aid his verbal assaults. He inserted a picture of a monkey between the pages of Briggs' parts manual with X's and O's and a note that read, "So you never forget who you are." District Manager Jay Schaefer later stumbled upon it. When told the note came from Stickle, Schaefer replied, "That's just typical Ernie." Adding more fuel to the already toxic environment was an arsenal of firearms Stickle kept in and around his office: a .380, a .45, a .44 Magnum, a 9mm, a .308 rifle, and a 12-gauge shotgun. Reportedly, Stickle told his staff that he would kill them if he ever got in trouble for his actions. Watson versus CEVA Logistics, 2012. KKK accompanied "I Hate Nigger" carvings on locker room benches, racial slurs were painted on bathroom stalls, and rail cars sprayed with swastikas proclaiming "Hang a nigger today," "Kill the niggers," and "Fuck niggers" moved through the rail yard for all to see. Adding insult to psychological injury were old Union employees wearing swastikas on T-shirts, Confederate flags on head rags and belt buckles. One employee decorated his truck with Confederate flags. Another had tattooed a Tasmanian Devil rebel flag combo on his forearm. The racial harassment was both visible and audible. Even if it required blacks to work overtime, CEVA supervisors acquiesced to their white subordinates. "I told you I wasn't going to work with that nigger," a white male employee boasted. Charles Daniels versus Lockheed Martin, 2008. "Why are you down there writing lies? You had better make sure you get your lies straight, because we're going to get your ass." Retaliation against Daniels for filing his complaint came swiftly with threats of lynching. Co-workers drove past his apartment, and there were mysterious late knocks on his door. He recalled the event. "I had already went to JJ and told him how afraid I was to go into the aircraft, but he ordered me to go. I'm not going to refuse. They will say I refused to do my job because they were already saying they were going to get me. I put a screwdriver in my pocket for protection, but I was afraid. But I'm a man. I still had to have the courage to go up in there, even though I wasn't sure if I was coming out. As I started approaching the plane, it's dark, and I know the four of them are in there, but I've got to go in anyway. Big Jim is in the back, Dave, Robbie, Roy, all in the plane. And as I'm walking up, they start calling me pieces of shit and nigger." Charles Hickman versus Commercial Coding Services Incorporated, 2006. Hickman anticipated that if he performed well during his 90-day probation period, CCSI would offer him a job. As Hickman later described, a truer indication of what he would actually endure occurred the second day he clocked in. A supervisor referred to as Andy said, "I will take you in the woods and bury you in the ground with your head and feet sticking out." Now night had fallen by the time he drove the 40 miles from Conroe, Texas, back to Houston. Charles Hickman, an African-American married father of 5, sat alone in a darkened parking lot, recounting the attack. "I went home and sat in my car crying. It was too much for me to handle. The comments had gone on for months, and now this noose being placed around my neck scared me to death. I thought I might be killed." The Whirlpool Saga. Situated along an industrial highway, occupying more than 1 million square feet of space, Whirlpool employed nearly 2,000 workers at its La Vergne, Tennessee facility. like seepage from a septic tank. The plant environment was a cesspool permeated with racist attacks, primarily against people of color, and secondarily targeting the whites who befriended them. Jesus suffered, so the niggers must suffer too. Nigga, why are you so slow? She's getting to be an uppity nigga. Oh, that black bitch? You can't believe anything she says. Those niggas need to go back where they came from. The nigger bitch is gonna get what's coming to her. Go home, sand niggers, raghead niggas, jungle bunnies, coons. White boys, you need to start fucking your bitches, because those niggas are. Our women want to be their breeders and have their children. We made a mistake bringing you over here. White people are in the minority now, but NASCAR is one sport that niggas aren't gonna overcome or be better at. I wish I could have a James Earl Ray Day so we can get off of killing that nigger, black bastard. Unmasked from official federal court records, the above are but a sampling of verbal statements and graffiti-sourced expressions of bigotry, chronicling years of racial torment inside Whirlpool's Lavergne, Tennessee factory. Armstrong versus Whirlpool, 2011. Beasley was a natural recipient of frustrations felt by minority workers, a responsibility he championed at all levels within Whirlpool. He testified, there was racist graffiti from 21 years that had all kinds of racist, explicit things on it, but nothing had been done about it. I took my complaint directly to people that could handle it, telling them what I was seeing. We complained from the front office to the back. A question from Whirlpool's attorney to Beasley at his deposition laid the foundation for what truly encapsulates the diseased mindset of bigotry. Since 2005, have you seen any other type of graffiti within the Whirlpool facility? Beasley: no, but in 2003 or 2004, a black employee came in to work that morning, and there was manure on the truck seat. I was just coming through when they were trying to clean it up. There were a lot of people around. It was really disturbing. Sharon is one of the most kind, easygoing persons. That's why it was such a big deal. Everyone was trying to figure out, why did it have to happen to her? Barrett versus Whirlpool, 2010. Nickens testified that the union president frequently used the word nigger, and when she complained about the racist language, he just laughed at her. Nickens described when white employee Jim Jones grabbed her around the neck and said, "I don't think you should be hanging around them damn niggers." She said that her complaints to Whirlpool HR about the attack was met with HR also telling her, well, you shouldn't be hanging around the niggas. Lavette Barrett also asserted that Whirlpool supervisors routinely heard and or participated in jokes, slurs, and epithets. She testified that Supervisor Westbury heard racial jokes, and rather than reprimanding employees, he too just laughed. She often voiced opposition to the slurs, the graffiti, and other racially offensive behavior. She even told her white coworkers to stop and complained to supervisors Beverly Gordon and Bill Westbury. But she said she was just shunned by the coworkers, all because of her relationship with black coworkers. EEOC and Carletta Freeman versus Whirlpool, 2012. Freeman hurried inside, only to be met by Supervisor Charlie Fisher. She said, "Charlie, we just came out of that meeting. Willie was threatening to kill me, and now he's outside sexually harassing me. I thought you told him to stay out of the area, Charlie." "I can't work under these circumstances." Fisher replied, "Well, why don't you just go ahead and fuck him? Get it over with. Maybe then he'll leave you alone." 3 days later, sitting in Whirlpool's medical department was the next thing Freeman recalled, but not how she got there or who took her. She had lacerations on her foot, arms, legs, back, and several other bruises. One female co-worker was trying to take pictures. She said that, "I just remember hearing someone say, 'You can't take pictures in here.'" The co-worker who took pictures of Freeman's injuries also called the police. Freeman was speaking with the officer when her cell phone rang. It was Kim Wheeler. Wheeler called and told me Willie Baker was still outside in the factory parking lot. Kurt Gammerhoff, Whirlpool HR manager, had instructed Baker to leave before the police arrived, but a white male attacker continued to lurch around the premises. Racism is a sickness unto death, Part 1. One of these days, I'm going to come in here and kill me a bunch of niggers, then kill myself, was one of the many threats 48-year-old Douglas Paul Williams is said to have made toward his Lockheed Martin co-workers at the Meridian, Mississippi factory. Lockheed's management was aware of his racial slurs and his makeshift KKK attire. He once wore the shape of what looked like a Ku Klux Klan hood. When given a chance to remove it or go home, Williams just left. Lockheed took no disciplinary action against him for the incident. Eventually, Lockheed dispatched EEO investigator Darrell Sawyer to their Mississippi plant. Sawyer's notes detailed threats reported by black female Lynette McCall. Douglas Williams had advised her of a race war, accompanied with the assurance that she too was on his list. However, Darrell Sawyer recommended that Williams keep his job and attend anger management courses. On July 8, 2003, Douglas Paul Williams barged into a training class on diversity with ammunition belts filled with shotgun shells crisscrossing his upper body, a bandana wrapped around his head, wielding a shell 12-gauge shotgun, and a semi-automatic rifle strapped on his back. He killed 5 black co-workers, 1 white male employee, wounded 9 more, and then killed himself on the factory floor. Racism is a Sickness Unto Death, Part 2. Seconds after the shootings began, the warehouse unknowingly became a deadly convergence point of drivers running from the driver's room connected to the area by the office window, forklift operators and co-workers already in the warehouse who may not even heard the initial shots, and Omar Sharif Thornton purposely headed their way. "Run! Somebody's got a gun!" shouted Craig Pippin, according to a witness who said Pippin appeared to be running in slow motion with his arms flapping around like rubber. A forklift became lodged against a wall with its wheels spinning, eventually catching fire. Its driver, Douglas Scroden, had been shot in the back of the head, causing his foot to become stuck on the accelerator. Victor James, shot twice in the back, later died at the hospital. Craig Pippin was found out by the loading dock, shot in the neck. At the time of the murders, Omar Thornton had a different girlfriend than the one previously mentioned. She was also a white female. Slow-mar jokes, teasing about being lazy, were not the complaints listed by neither Thornton's family nor his girlfriend. According to them, in addition to racial harassment and being called nigger, Thornton displayed a picture he had taken of drawings inside an HDI bathroom illustrating a lynching and the caption, "Kill niggers." She said that Omar's name was written next to it. Making tolerance of discrimination more costly than eliminating it. Hi, this is James Rodney. I conclude my book with Chapter 10, A Call to Advocacy, premised upon making tolerance of discrimination more costly than it is to eliminate it, a challenge made directly to 4 groups of Americans. To the youth of America, I challenge you to launch a Stop Pimping Me social media campaign. Target those professional athletes and entertainers making it rain off your money but never speaking up on your behalf. To progressive white Americans, your passivity allows bigots to define your culture and thus degrade America's moral authority around the world. I challenge you to expose and oppose racists for who and what they truly are. To conservative white Americans, I challenge you to love your family more than you hate others. Vote against those who appeal to your racial pride, eagerly sending your kids off to die in combat as theirs host cocktail parties, while simultaneously blocking legislation that improves your standard of living, such as reduction in student loan rates, extended unemployment benefits, and job training programs. To political leaders, I challenge you to implement my 15 changes in public policy in the area of employment discrimination law that would truly make the tolerance of discrimination more costly than it is to eliminate it. Corporate America and the N-Word, available online at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iTunes, and most online retailers in paperback and ebook.